Hello everyone, Luke here now. This chapter of The Promised Neverland is probably going to be one of the ones that are going to be more on the short side for me to talk about, because not a lot actually happens. I was kind of a bit disinterested in this chapter, but when we get to the next chapter, chapter 168, some stuff in that chapter really helps it to actually just beef it back up for me, considering that that chapter is when Peter Atari actually just come out in full force and shows just how ruthless, again, he can be around these kids. But that's for later. For now, we've got to get through this one, so let's just jump right into it and get it over with. Alright, so this will be chapter 167. I'm still on the fence that we're probably only that chapter 180, 185, that's probably going to be like the ending of the series. But yeah, anyway, so only a few chapters left to go now. Yeah, judging by what happens in the next few chapters, that's probably a fair point to say. I don't think it's going to end in the next 3 chapters, but the next like 13 chapters, that's a fair point to say. But anyway, this chapter is called This Way, Demons. Obviously, this is referencing what happens in the chapter, how the kids just completely dominate the demons in this chapter. And of course, because they've dominated the demons in this chapter, the next chapter, the enemy gets to dominate them. That's kind of the way it's going. It's kind of standard, kind of traditional fare, but it's quite interesting in the way of how they actually do it. And it's like just like luring them in, and even the chapter knows like, okay, yeah, there's no hiding it. The kids are actually just gonna dominate in this chapter. So it begins with the demons. If you remember at the end of the last chapter, all the kids, they barricade themselves in storage room B20 because they're like, yeah, we're not trying to escape, but we're actually going to try and fight back and take over this facility, so that there's less of you guys and we only have to worry about the guys that are actually outside on that front. So anyway, the demons are like, they've barricaded themselves inside as Peter is just like looking on, like thinking like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. But then again, I was like kind of like expecting something to not expect it, so it doesn't really count. Yeah, I made a Sonic the Hedgehog reference there with Sonic the Hedgehog movie with Dr. Robotnik, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, go and see it. Forget what people are saying about it being a bad movie. In terms of video game movies, it's one of the better ones out there. So yeah, that's my quick little review of Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So anyway, they go on to say, we are no longer able to control the storage room's security doors, and then we just see this big old explosion as we see like what the plan was for the kids as well, as they've actually destroyed the bridge. So okay, so they were like, okay, we're not going to escape, we're actually going to infiltrate, we're actually going to take over this facility, and to assure you guys that you can't get help from the outside world, we're going to destroy the bridge, so that it's basically us guys versus you guys. Let's see who comes out on top here. So yeah, they've destroyed the bridge, and they're like, what is it now? Our bridge, it's being destroyed. And Emma goes on to say, as of right now, we're taking over Gracefield Farm. And we see like the post that she was making with Norman and Ray at the end of last chapter, where they're just like, we're going to say, yeah, we're taking over Gracefield Farm, and there's no way you guys are getting out. You've cut off entrances from us before, so we're going to do the same to you and see how you guys like it. Peter goes on to think to himself, and I love how even in this intense situation, Peter is remaining calm and collective, and like not letting up the fact that he's kind of like thinking like, oh my god, I didn't expect something like this to actually happen. He's like thinking of all the possibilities of like why this actually went the way it did, as he goes on to say, to think to himself and say, they barricaded themselves inside. What does this mean? What purpose does this serve? What about food and water? Didn't you intend to kill us all here in the base? And yeah, that's pretty much established when they actually destroy the bridge so that nobody can get out. So it's just like the few little forces that are actually in the base, because they know that the majority, like the bulk of the army, is on the outside. But if they destroy the bridge, then that means it's going to take them a while for them to actually get across to Gracefield Farm itself. As he goes on to say, even if they accomplish that, there are the 2,000 Imperial soldiers outside. They should have all known that already. And yes, they did know that, Peter. That's why, like I said, they destroyed the bridge. And he goes on to say, after taking over Gracefield, what kind of demand will they make, and to whom? Or do they have another plan to escape? And yes, they pretty much do, because if you remember, the way to actually escape into human world is actually in Gracefield. I am so dumb that I didn't actually, that didn't actually just click to me. That was the oh my word, guys, oh my word. Yeah, it's when you actually think about these things that it actually comes flowing back to you. Because if you remember in Goldie Pond, William Minerva actually gave them instructions, and when Lucas and Emma found the message from William Minerva, and he explained, like, okay, the way to get to human world is in Gracefield House. So yeah, that is their actual reason. So they're obviously gonna, once they've taken over the facility and everything, Emma's gonna be there to, like, okay, I know where the exit to human world is. It's somewhere in Gracefield itself. So that's probably why they cut off the bridge. So it's like, okay, it's just us now, and then once we've done with the demons inside, we actually have the way out. Cause it was. William Minerva, like, once I've done the cut, I'll actually go and look it up and see if I can actually find it again. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he did actually specify that the way to get into human world, or one of the ways to get into human world, is through Gracefield House. So yeah, let's just go and quickly find that. Okay guys, it's in chapter 72 where we hear the message from William Minerva and James Watari, as he states, it's currently May 20th, 2031. By the time you listen to this recording, I'm probably no longer of this world. But it's not a defeat. I have no intention of being killed so easily. There are more supporters of you all besides me. Besides, the Adafair is not the only path for coming and going to the human world, but it's dangerous, but there are no other humans paths. For example, Gracefield House, Glory Bell, Grand Valley, and then Goldwell Ridge. Okay, so yeah, it was confirmed, like, literally in the Goldie Pond arc, that Gracefield House is one of the ways to actually get into the human world. So yeah, that's probably the intention that they have now, is that they're going, it's like, okay, we're going to kill everyone in the facility, we're going to destroy the bridge so that them guys outside can't get to us, and then we're all going to escape into the human world. That's probably the plan that they have in mind right now. But anyway, continuing on. So yeah, they do have another plan to escape, as Peter Watari is just thinking about all these other options, and then he's probably aware of the way to, he's probably aware at this point of what their plan actually is. So he's like, okay, so they're probably going to escape into the human world, they're probably going to escape from here, which is why they've cut off the exit from outside so that the troops outside can't get into here. So what will the plan be for me? As one of the demons goes, keep calm, they've probably barricaded themselves to secure the hostages. A few of them are going to come out from the outside of the doors. So and we see just the structure, structure from the outside door to the storage room. So it's like you have the storage room and all the kids are in there. Then you have Emma, Ray, Norman, Don, and Gilda. All in like a sandwich bit between the storage room and another door, and then you have the demons on the outside door. So that's kind of like the structure they've got here. But the demons have to be aware that they actually have guns. So if they try to open the door, they're just going to shoot right away, no question about it. And they go on to say they'll probably attempt to kill us and take us up and take over the farm. Yeah, that's what they're actually trying to do. And if you open that door, you're going to be dead right there and then. I'm sorry, guys. That part where I didn't actually know it's that part, like, they're trying to escape and I didn't put the dots together, but now I've put the dots together. Okay, this chapter I've got like a lot, I've had other things to talk about, but continuing on, they go on to say, don't take them lightly. They know about our core and our weaknesses and our optical nerves, as well as the layout of Gracefield House. Congratulations, demons, you're finally finding out that the humans can actually fight back against you and not being so egotistical that you don't think that they can actually fight back against you. Way to go with that regard, but too little too late in that regard as well. And yes, I've been further back to look at the official manga app, and I swear Furman from Control Chaos needs to get a t-shirt made of that. He really does. The official manga app. But anyway, I've gone on the official manga app, and William Minerva does confirm in that chapter 72 that the Aletheia that was meant to go to human world in Goldie Pond was destroyed, but there are other paths that might be dangerous, but one of such is in pretty much all the farms that have been situated around the perimeter, including Gracefield, Goldie Pond, and Grand Valley, and Goodwill Ridge. So yeah, those are the paths. So that's probably. So that I imagine that's the plan. They're gonna infiltrate Gracefield House. They're gonna take over that, and then they're gonna go to the other farms and factories, gather all the kids together that are still in there, and then escape through Gracefield House itself. So, like I said, I'm really glad that the series has actually come full circle, and we've gone back. We're ending the series back. We're ending the series where it actually started in the first place. The demons carry on and say, we can deal with the hostages inside Storage Room Mayor. First the intruders, find them and kill them, all of them. I'll never forget the humiliation they brought upon me with that escape 2 years ago. Obviously thinking back on the actual original escape and how they completely underestimated them. But even in that sense, they were still underestimating the humans, because there was no indication from any of the demons in the prior chapters that when they returned to Gracefield House that, yeah, even though we've recaptured these kids, don't underestimate them, because there still might be others out there that could easily come back and overpower us. So we have to be very careful at this point. But anyway, continuing on, they go on to say, we're the highest grades. We are the highest Gracefield. We are the highest grade farm, Gracefield. I won't let them escape this time. And as they prepare for battle, they go on to say the livestock won't do as they please. And again, like I said, even though they've just said like we've got to not underestimate them, they're still having that egotistical nature that they think that they can win just because they have much more brute force and they have much more control over the facility itself. They think like those two things are going to be the things that they'll need to win this fight, where they're not taking into account other things that the humans could do that they're just not as capable of. And now we get into the main meat of the chapter, where Emma goes, time to start this game of tag, and we see her, Ray, and Norman, and also Gillian. Okay, so Gillian was one of the kids. I thought Don and... well, I'm pretty sure Don and Gilda were actually with them, but I couldn't actually tell based on the angle of when that actual... when that demon was, like, talking about where the... kids might actually be. I thought it was just going to be Emma, Ray, Norman, Don, and Gilda. I didn't anticipate Gillian being there, but I'm not complaining, because I do like Gillian as a character herself. Anyway, continuing on, the demons tried to stab at Emma, but Emma, of course, being the more athletic one out of the three highest at Gracefield House, she's able to. This is nothing more than a parlor trick to her at this point. So the demon goes to stab her, and she's like, yeah, I don't think so. Jumps up in the air, like, just like, phew, like, just springs up in the air, and obviously avoids the attack as Ray points his gun, and he actually tries to start firing at the demon, but the demon taking a page from Lewis's book just blocks it with his finger. Just blocks it with his fingers, as Don goes on to say, he blocked them all, and Ray's like, no man, just shoot him, come out there. So they're like, and the demon's like, I'm taking examples from the royal house, like, they just block it out, and Don's like, he brought them all, and Ray's like, I don't care, just shoot the crap out there, just shoot the crap out there. And I love that, I love that about it. I love that, it's like, okay, yeah, but just shoot them, don't talk, just shoot. I love that, because they're actually treating this like as a real situation. They're not treating it as like how a typical shonen battle goes, because typically in shonens they'll be like thinking like, okay, what's this going on? What's this going on? And it's like, allow me to explain. Like, no, they're just like, I don't care what they're doing. Just shoot them right now until they're dead in the ground. And Don obliges by this as he just shoots complete bullets. Like, we get this full page spread of just, well, not full page spread, just like this full panel of Don and Gilda, just like, not Don and Gilda, Don and Gillian, just like shooting at the ground and obviously shooting up towards the demons themselves, as all the demons are just like getting pulverized by the bullets, like one after another, and they as they're getting pulverized, they're not backing down. They're just like plowing through them, like, they're just like, and then Gillian's like, retreat, and they're like, okay, and then Jim's like, get them. I'm getting too worked up here, guys. But yeah, I've got to calm down. And this is, like I said in the last chapter, this is what I've loved most about, like, where they've about these last few chapters, even though they've not been like the most intellectual, the most thought-provoking chapters. I've loved the fact that like they've had the strategy from Gracefield House, but also the action orientation of Golden Pond, and just slammed them together. So like they're making the final battle the best of both worlds in my own personal opinion. I know that some people that don't like it, that are out there, but personally, in my own personal opinion, as a fan of the series, I'm enjoying that. Like, they actually have the strategy and the action just like smushed together. And again, like I said, I'm glad that they went back full circle, and the final battleground is at Gracefield House. As they are retreating, they obviously split up into groups, which was one of the strategies that they actually were thinking about doing at the within the last chapter, when they actually had the flashback, and they're thinking like, okay, we'll split off from each other, and that way we can weaver out the enemy one by one, because we're all capable of actually taking down these demons. And and that is true, because they've taken down some of the most strongest demons, like the royal families and the poachers at Goldie Pond. So they took them out. So these demons are probably to them like nothing more than like cannon fodder for them as they split off. So we have 3 to the east and 3 to the west. So I believe from what I can see here, it's going to be from what I can tell, it's Emma, Ray, and Gillian going. Let me just going west, and Dawn, Gilda, and Norman going east. So it's kind of that notion. Although I might be wrong when we go further into the chapter, and I will point out when that actually does happen. But anyway, continuing on, one of the demons is like, Roger that, will take over. As another demon goes, it's ready, sir. And they're like, listen, everyone, I've summoned guards from the other floors. We'll seal off B20. And this is when Gilda and Gillian are like really proud. Okay, so no, it wasn't Norman that went with Don and Gilda. It was actually Don, Gilda, and Gillian that went together, and it was Norman, Ray, and Emma that went together, which makes the most sense because Norman, Ray, and Emma, they're kind of like the 3 leads of the series, so they kind of have to be clamped together, or clamped together as much as possible, humanly possible. But anyway, they're like the demons are like, I've summoned guards from the other floors. We'll seal off B20 as. Emma, as basically all of them get surrounded, and even though the demons think they've actually won at this point, Norman is just smiling at this, and he's like, I wonder about that. And this gets demons like confused as they're like, what's happened? And then we see that Vincent has actually hijacked the enemy control room. Okay, so it's like now, okay, so they were basically being a distraction for the demons, whilst Vincent did his work and actually hacked into the enemy's mainframe and was able to take over like the structure and like all the security in Gracefield House. So that was a pretty solid plan. Like, they split off into groups, and they were splitting them off even further. So like they were the demons were constantly being distracted while Vincent and the main group, which consists of him, Nigel, and Nigel and Hayati are actually taking over and like reconstructing the operating system to their liking, and actually doing that remotely. And the demons are like, where? Find out. As Vincent goes, open doors 4, 25, 8, 1 and 16, showing 7, 9, 25 and 31. And Nigel goes, here, I've got the cameras on the enemy's position. And they're like, okay, so they're like turning the tables on the enemy. So it's like, yeah, you may have been in control all this time, but now we're in control and we're able to like pinpoint where you guys are, so it's better for our forces. Vincent goes on to say and relay the message of what he actually wants to relay to Norman, which is enemy's position, 1 each in location, B4, C3, D8 and E9. 3 are coming in from the north in C12, D13 and E5, west elevator. And then we see, I'm going to have to pick up my laptop here to actually see this, but yeah, we see Emma and Ray, like, we just see like this panel of just like this montage of just them going around and just slaughtering the demons from those locations that Vincent was actually able to relay to Norman. So this was actually something I don't think the enemy were expecting them to actually do. So they were like kind of like a bit like shell shocked before they actually kicked the bucket, thanks to all the humans, as we see Emma, Ray and Norman just fighting back, and then we see Gillian doing pretty much what she said in pretty much what she did in Goldie Pond. If you remember, in Goldie Pond, she had like the 2 machine guns, and she was like, eat lead, and she basically took out all of Luke, the demons, Lush, or however you pronounce his name, all his subordinates with just those 2 machine guns, and she's doing the same thing here, but she's doing like more epic poses. And I really like the poses that Ginny does, because she's like doing, so she's taking so she has demons from the front and demons from the back, and she's just doing that, and for instance, like Ginny, 2 are coming from the front, 2 are coming from the front right, and she's just basically just doing it like at that, okay, and just destroying everyone. And then we have Oliver and Sack, who are like being relayed messages, and they're like, Oliver and Sack, go around from the rest and draw 3 more out, and they're like, Roger. And then we have Don, who's been relayed that demons are actually coming up from the far left, and then we just see it's just like this crazy like panel, like to show you how crazy it is, guys. Let me just get it up here. Yeah. Look at the detail on just like that 4-page spread of just how much focus actually has to go in. Like, you have to look at all the little details of what's actually going on, which you don't really get in the Promised Neverland. You don't get panels like that where you have to like look in every nook and cranny of like a 4-page spread to actually get all the details itself, and it's kind of like jarring in that regard. But it's very much welcome when it actually does happen. Then, as Don and Gilda are actually fighting back against their forces, actually running around everywhere, Gilda actually trips, and she's nearly caught off guard by one of the demons who are actually almost going to try and grab her. But before she can do that, she comes out of nowhere and just shoots the demons dead herself. And I'm in 2 minds about this. One is that I'm glad to see Ayesha getting in on the action after being kind of like pushed to the sidelines for so long. But on the other hand, I really feel that that's where Don and Gilda should have died, like just dying in this battle, and showing that even major characters are not going to get out of this series alive. So, well, I'm happy that Ayesha actually put up her guns and actually fought back against the demons, even though she was kind of like on the fence of actually doing that. Like, she was more on the demon side than she actually was on the human side. I'm also disappointed at the fact that it came at the expense of actually giving Don and Gilda an actual proper death, and I still think they are going to die. I still think they're 2 likely candidates for the chopping block, because even though they're not the 3 main leads, are still like the secondary leads, like the secondary protagonists of the series, because they've had so much more screen time than far other characters. Like, if you're talking about like the big 5 of Promised Neverland, it goes Emma, Ray, Norman, Don and Gilda. Like, those 5 I would consider like the principles of the series that we followed the most throughout. So anyway, as all the madness is going on, one of the demons is like, what the heck, we can't catch any of them. We know who's going to come out and from where and what to do. Hey, what's going on? Respond. And Nigel just gets like a shitty grin. It's like jamming the comms. It's like, okay, so you guys are communicating with each other, not for any longer. Jamming the comms. So the demon's like, respond. What's going on? I can't hear you. Anything like that. And again, I just love his shitty grin, like jamming the comms, and he just has like that shitty grin on his face, because it's very rare that you actually get a character like that actually just having that shitty grin, like, yes, we're in control right now, guys. And Vincent goes on to say, boss, I found it, his location. Peter Atari is currently in the drawing room on B1. Yeah, not for very long, considering that I have seen the scans of the next chapter, and yeah, that's not going to be for very long. But anyway, Norman says, Roger, and Oliver's like, Norman, Emma, Ray, leave this to us and go ahead. And they're like, go! And then they're like, let's go! And then Norman and Emma and Ray are like thankful and appreciative of it, as the demons are like, we found the location of the ones hijacking the system, get them. And then they're just like, not so fast. And then we get the title drop of the chapter as Ginny's like, this way, demons, just a little bit more. And then we see like all the demons have just like been clamped into this one space, and then they're like, what? Why did we all end up here? And they're like in like what appears to be like a big storage room, like kind of similar to the one that the kids were in, but like much grander. as we see like all the demon guards that have just been like locked in there, like they've got all the doors and locks at this point sealed, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, all the doors are locked sealed except for the one that the kids are actually on top of, and to show how much the kids give no fucks about these demon guards, they throw in what appears to be gas grenades. They're like, we don't have to bother killing them all. We'll just gather them and trap the guards in one place. So yeah, they're probably from what I can tell is like basically it's a gas chamber for the demons. That's basically what they've done. Basically, they've gassed the demons as they seal off the final room. And all the demon guards are just dropped dead at this point. So that only leaves Peter Rattari as they go. The head honcho we're after right now is Peter Rattari, and Nigel not Nigel, Oliver goes, mission complete, we should hurry too, and that's where the chapter ends. So, okay, even though I was kind of like disinterested in doing this chapter at the beginning, in all honesty, doing the review and getting up and just actually getting so much excitement from just the action that's going on around it, and just how I actually was able to connect dots of like the fact of what could potentially be the final plan to actually escape into human world back to Goldie Pond. That's probably where it's gonna go, guys. And yeah, that was kind of enjoyable. Like one of the ones that like got me really pumped up, and I can't wait to talk about chapter 168 when it actually does release, which is coming out tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be able to do that in the evening, not sure, but if not, it'll come next week. I promise, guys, that review is coming because there'll be so much that I want to talk about with that chapter. But anyway, guys, that was it. What did you think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasher Luke signing off. Later, guys.